Oh, okay, cool. We got a little clip, the clip of the story. We got to cut out everything with
everything.
The names and shit. Like, all of that's gone. Hey, no, you're not doing that.
No, yeah, what up, girl? You come talk to me. I'll lift your band.
All right, welcome back to another episode of The Company, guys. This has been a while. I just had an episode with the Dean and UC Davis, and I wanted to come back to Sacramento and get an episode in with somebody that I've really rocked with, somebody that's always shown me love, and that's somebody that has launched a really crazy brand called IndustryRebel. So with no further ado, what's up, Vonna? How you doing?
What up? I'm good. I'm blessed to be here. Thank you for having me.
No, 100%. This has always been an episode that was going to come along. I was talking to Mars, we was talking to Tony, Robbie, and it's like now we're getting kind of the whole crew together for real. So.
Man, shout out HOF for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Y'all really took over the city. Like, that's crazy.
I'm just a small piece in a big ass chessboard for real.
Yeah? How'd you get started with like that whole group?
Oh man, I'm sorry to have to say this. So I used to party a lot with Tony and Robbie and Mars and all of them. So it was just like a lot of day partying. I was one of those girls that would come up to like the festivals and be like, I know Tony. Tony, can you get me in like 6 girls in? So that's essentially how it started, how I met them. And then when they started doing more venues downtown, they would have me come do like door covers and like work at like Bar West and places that they were at. A few years ago, they did the promotional piece to Tiger. So then they brought me on there. So I was doing like the door cover there, VIP list. And then, just spent more time with them there. And then after like, COVID and stuff like that, they essentially took over Tiger, like management, ownership. And Tony had called me up and was like, look, we got the place to ourselves, you know what I mean? And come do what you do, and we need you back. And I was like, absolutely. So I literally quit my 9-to-5 job and like was like, I'm all into the nightlife now. Like, I'm just gonna rock with HOF and like see how it goes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, yeah. I can't even imagine really being able to make like a leap like that quickly. How's it been treating you though?
Man, it's good. Like Tony and Robbie, shout out to them. They're amazing men. You know what I mean? They really have like crazy love for this city, and they want to do different things with it. So it's been a really crazy ride with HOF, but I'm like hella here for it. Those are my brothers, and I'm down for whatever with them.
Yeah.
So.
No, 100%. But I mean, one of the things that we kind of talking about like off camera was this idea that, there's HOF, there's Vonna, there's Robbie, there's Tony, and now there's IndustryRebel. How did you get to this point?
Just working nightlife, dude. Like, being around in like a big staple in Sacramento, you like brush shoulders with a lot of different people, right? So it's like you're meeting different people, you're seeing different things, and Sacramento has a crazy amount of creatives. So one day I just sat back and I'm like, my identity is with Tiger. That's where most people see me, and I'm like, I want to create something that's mine. So then, I was sitting back jotting down like little ideas, and I'm like, okay, industry life is something big, but what is industry? I'm like, industry could be a lot of different things. It's essentially just a group where you take raw material and you produce what you produce with it. So I'm like, okay, industry's fire. I'm sticking with that. I'm like, but what is like something that's me? And I'm like, me regardless, like even me making this leap to doing nightlife, I'm like, it was rebellious. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I want it to be something that everybody can relate to, and everybody makes their own blueprint to whatever it is they want to do in life. So I was like, okay, rebel, like that would be fire. Yeah. So I'm like, IndustryRebel, okay. So then I'm like, okay, that's the brand. So then I'm like, I'm just gonna create like a material for it and just go with that. So that's where IndustryRebel essentially came from.
That's crazy. No, I mean, I rock with it because at first I was sitting there and I'm like, I'm always thinking about different business plans. Like I always try to like stay into that space, and I love good marketing, and I feel like with IndustryRebel, like that fits not only who you are, but also like a lot of people can kind of fall under that umbrella. Yeah. I saw kind of the campaign that you ran, and it was really organic, but everybody that were wearing the glasses kind of had that rebellious streak to them too. So I think that's hard. Yeah, like that's really cool.
It was crazy. The photo shoot that we did, man, was like, oh my God, it was so crazy. It was something that I was like really nervous about, more than like creating the glasses. I was just like, okay, you could create them like something like a product, but like how are you gonna get it out? And I'm like, man, okay, I got like this much money. How do I spread it from like photographers, venues, and like models. And then I'm like, okay, I can't afford all that. That sounds crazy. So I was like, man, let me just like reach out to the people that I know from the industry, right? I'm like, let me just call these crazy photographers, AJ, Drew, and like Slick was there. And then I'm like, let me just, talk to all the, people that I know from Tiger, like, beautiful women, beautiful like men, you know what I mean? And then, I was just like, okay, venues, obviously Tiger is like one of them. And then I was like, just reaching out to people that I know from the industry. And it's like, man, networking is the most amazing thing. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you have to put yourself out there, and then people like take you and like what you are about, and then like they respect it, they love it, and then they show that love right back. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like the photo shoot was crazy, and I'm even sitting back like holding all these pairs of glasses, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so fire. Like rooftops, like Tony even showed up and was like, rocking them, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like this is just like fire. So
and it happens quick, huh?
Man, I was like, dude, and I had to work that night too, so I was like sitting there like doing everything, and I'm like, bruh, it's already over, like what? And like even then I'm just like thinking about other things, you know what I mean? So I'm like, it was amazing, and like the photos came out like crazy. Follow me on industryrebel on Instagram. They're up there right now. But yeah, it's been a crazy month.
I really like what you were talking about with kind of this community outreach portion. Like that's something that we're big on, and I feel like we in the 21st century, like everybody's launching an online brand, but I think most people forget that an online brand needs like real world roots. And if you don't have a community, if you don't like, I mean, that's really where it ends. If you don't have a community, you really can't sell anything. Like,
it's hard.
Like, you talked a little bit about it, but in kind of your day to day, you're at Tiger and you're kind of like managing the door. Like, what does that entail? How would you describe what you do right now?
Like with Tiger, it's more just it's a lot of networking, dude. Like a lot of people, obviously, shout out to Tiger too. It's literally one of the most illustrious venues in Sacramento, but you have a lot of crazy tight people that come there. Like one night I was there and it was like Missy Elliott's designer was there. Like just you meet people and it's like, okay, let me put myself out there so that they know who I am, right? And like me being the door manager there, I'm literally the first face you see, right? So it's like when I'm the first face, what do I want people to take from that? Do I want to be up here and like, portray security, which I'm totally not. Let's go ahead and put that out there. But my biggest thing is like in life, besides the business thing, like is just really give people in the universe what you want to like get back in return. You know what I mean? So like that all goes in with networking too. You know what I mean? Like just be pure. You know what I mean? Like don't do anything that you wouldn't want to happen to you, and just like everybody has a story. And everybody has something that they can, give. So it's like, just have it all be full circle.
100%. 100%. And that's the thing, too. It's like, you can't really draw a line between what you do for your business and what you do for yourself, because a lot of that does cross over. And I think what you talked about with, you're in front of the door and you're the kind of like, that first face of Tiger. And like, what I find most impressive, and I think most people make a mistake on, is they try to separate what they do in their day-to-day life from quote unquote work. And I think like really successful people don't create that separation. When you're at Tiger and you're managing the door, you're also thinking about Industry Rebel. You're also thinking about Vonna and what you got to do in the future. And I think that's really the best way to kind of move through these spaces. So I'm like, I'm glad to hear that, because for me, I was having a conversation today with a couple of my boys and I was talking about it, and I'm like, a lot of people ask me like, yo, like, why are you always working? And I feel like that's a weird question. It's like
super weird.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, because it's like working is not just about making money. You know what I mean? Working is about learning. You know what I mean? Working is about making like relationships. Working is like so much more, and working on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like I just recently started working in the kitchen at Tiger too, which is like something super out of my scope, but like, it's fire, because it's like I'm learning the back of the house, like, learning how they put these fire like menu items out, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like I'm learning patience from it. And it's like, bro, everything that I do. And I remember when I was in college and they were talking about like characteristics, and the one that popped out to me most was like ideation. You know what I mean? Like just taking little pieces of what you've done or you do, or like things that and applying that to other stuff. You know what I mean? Like you said, like you can't work and not be yourself or not like be personal and not think about work. Like everything fits all in one puzzle.
100%,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So like you have to. I'm at home laying in bed watching a show and I'm like, bro, why can't I promote something the way this commercial is? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm literally thinking of like everything all the time. And it's exhausting.
It is exhausting. It is exhausting.
It's so exhausting, bro. Like starting your own brand in your company is. I never thought it was this much work.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
But it's fire though, because then I could turn around and look at these boxes right here, and I'm like, bro, I literally created that.
Like from nothing.
From nothing.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? So it's exhausting, but it's so fulfilling. I think.
You know, it's like it's mental reps. That's really what it is. And I look at it and I'm like, yeah, it's exhausting, but at some point you're gonna get like acclimated to it, you know, and that's just gonna be your everyday life. And you look at what happens, like maybe in the first year it's difficult, the second year is gonna be difficult too, but like 5 years of work, like the distance that puts between you and like everybody else that's saying they doing something but they not active with it, you know, like, and it doesn't mean that you have to get to the point where you put out a physical product. Like you look at me, like I've been working on something for 2 years, ain't nothing on the floor yet, but you put the reps in, and at some point you can kind of like step through that for sure. I'm curious though, I didn't, where did you go to college? Like,
so I went to like a couple of trade schools, which is funny too because none of which I went to school for I'm actually doing in real life, but I went to ARC for paramedic, and then I stopped doing that after a couple of years, and then I went back to school. It was like Kaplan College for medical assisting. So did that.
Kind of focus on the medical field, like
I was really into the medical field when I was younger. My mom was really ill, so I was always taking care of her, and I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. And then I'm like, man, this is a lot of emotional like stuff taken from me. So I was like, nah. And then when she passed, I was like, okay, we're not gonna even do that anymore. So then I just started doing like 9-to-5 medical insurance, which paid really good, you know what I mean? Insurance and all that stuff came with it, but I was working for somebody I didn't even know their name, right?
Yeah.
So that's why like when Tony and them had, you know, recruited me and brought me in, I'm like, okay, these men actually like know me, they respect me, like they care about me. So I was like, this is something I would rather do. The money will come. Money is so crazy. It's gonna go. It's gonna come.
Yeah.
It literally catches on fire and turns to ashes. But it's like the relationship was more important to me. So I was like, I'm just gonna do this.
100%. And I feel like a lot of people chase money, and you know, for me, the hard part is that money going. Like that be tweaking me out sometimes. I'm like, you feel like you're doing something wrong, but really, like that is the nature of what money does. Like you're not supposed to hoard it and hold on to it. It's really supposed to, you know, you either give some of it up to go build some relationships and be somewhere you care about, or you know, you try to put it towards something where you spend some money to build a brand and everything. And you know, I think that's really dope. And you said that you and Tony and like Robbie and everybody, you're launching something new at Tiger coming up?
Yeah, so after I launched my brand and my product, Tony and Robbie had sat down with me and they were just, you know, really feeling, you know, the brand name, and they were just like, you know, we want to launch an industry night at Tiger on Sunday nights. And they were like, we want to like, you know, help you with your brand and like help market it, you know, and get it in the space where it needs to be. So we're just going to give you Sunday night, and it's going to be called Industry Rebel. So that was really exciting. I was really blown back. I was like, wow, this is crazy to have people like really believe in you. But so Sunday nights at Tiger, it's going to be called Industry Rebel Night. And it's really just going to be something different than your ordinary industry night where drinks are cheap. You know what I mean? It's going to be more based around like guests, you know, bartenders and, you know, crazy stuff. And we're essentially trying to make it to where every Sunday of the month is something different, and we want to really highlight Sacramento and all of the, you know, amazingness that it has, you know, and offering like art, you know what I mean, marketing and, you know, products and like food, drink, competition, just something really crazy. So it's gonna be fire.
No, I'm definitely gonna have to come through a couple of those. That's sure. Hard. And it's gonna be like, I love anything that is ever evolving and like you leave some room for change. Like I think that's really the best way to, you know, keep things fresh, because one of the things you do see around Sacramento sometimes is that there's so many creatives, there's so many venues, so many ideas that once one idea pops, everybody tries to like pick it up and run with it, you know?
Yeah. That's that was the one thing that scared me the most when I started my brand. I was like, okay, how do I hoard this and like make it to where, you know, nobody tries to like, you know, not bite off of it, because that sounds a little selfish, but even me creating the brand, I was just like, okay, I want to do something, create a brand created. And then I'm like, how do I offer it to people? I was like, okay, let's start with the product. That way they can, have it physically in their hand. They could touch it and it can help other people recognize it. So then I was like, okay, clothing, everybody's doing that, which is also fine. But I was like, I want mine to be different, though. So I was like, okay, summer vibes, sunglasses, that would be so fire. Like, and that would be seen on a person. And, people see sunglasses all the time, and it's like Prada, you know what I mean? Versace. So it's like not everybody can afford those things. And it really goes into, like, knowing whose product it is and how that person treats you or made you feel. So I was like, I really want to like create that. So that's where the sunglasses came from. And essentially I want to grow it to, services, or other products, but this is what we're rocking with right now.
That's hard. I feel like, having the name Industry Rebel was like, that is one of the biggest steps there. Like Robert has status, and it's like, you get these type of names and you don't ever have to stick into like one umbrella. Like it's not Industry Rebel sunglasses, it's just Industry Rebel. You can do shirts, you could do events, you could do whatever you want underneath that. So that's cool. What do you feel like your next steps are? Are you even there yet, or are you kind of just enjoying the wave right now?
I'm enjoying the wave right now. So this was my first collection. I dropped it on my birthday a few weeks ago, and it's already sold out. It's crazy the amount of love that I've like received, and I like super appreciate it from everybody. But I'm already on my second collection. It just dropped, so I'm waiting to get all that curated. Hopefully do another crazy photo shoot for it, and then drop that, and then just have everybody in Sacramento and other places too. Like I was in New York for my birthday, so I have a couple people in New York that I just shipped a pair to. So yeah, I'm just trying to get these glasses everywhere so that people are, understanding and, aware of the brand. And then, from there it's gonna go crazy. I already know, but
what effect do you think it's gonna have on your brand? Like, how do you feel like now it's gonna be seen as Vonna, the business owner? Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't even know, man. That's why I'm like, this whole experience for me is just crazy. And this is the first time I've ever created anything, so that was also something that I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. You know what I mean? Like I've never, because we're all surrounded by creatives. Sacramento is literally just unmatched with the creative energy here. And I'm like, so I was feeling like an outcast at first. I was like, man, I don't even have anything that's cool. You know what I mean? So right now I'm just kind of like riding the wave, and then hopefully, more creativeness will come from something, and you know what I mean? So right now my eyes are just super wide open. Yeah. Even with the glasses on, they're super wide open. But and I'm just like trying to find my next inspiration, really. You know what I mean? But it's going very well right now, and I'm excited.
No, that's what's up. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I like, kudos to anybody that can create something physical. I feel like that's the hardest thing to do, and then actually get people to support you behind it. I think that's real love. Like, you obviously have built a community of people that rock with you. So I'm happy to see that for real. And like, I'm relatively, I would say like I've been in SAC for maybe like a year now or so. Okay. So I'm pretty new out here, but the things that I have seen is that when you are supported in Sacramento, like, you're good. You don't really gotta worry about nothing. Yeah.
Sacramento is really one of my good friends, Vic. He has Eternal Life, and I remember when he first dropped his shirts. I was in the mall, in Arden Mall, and I promise you, I saw like 5 different people wearing his shirts, and I was like, oh my God, my friend is like famous now. You know what I mean? But it's like that too. But it's like Sacramento it's not small, and it's not too big either. You know what I mean? We're not like super huge, but the following out here for like entrepreneurship and like, just supporting the brand. I even caught myself in the last like year or two where I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop wearing designer stuff. You know what I mean? Because it all, my biggest thing is like, if I don't know you personally, then why like am I really supporting that? You don't even know my name, you know what I mean? So I was like, let me just get rid of all my designer stuff, and I still have a couple pairs of some stuff. But it's like now I'm only wearing my friends' stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm wearing like their shirts, like their products, and it's like it's so fire to do that. You know what I mean? Just to be like somewhere else and wearing something, like, oh, where is that from? And it's like, oh, this is I actually know the person who made this. You know what I mean? So that's also something I'm excited for my brand too, is like, people to really just rock it, it look good, and then just be like, you know what I mean? this is Vonna's.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
That's exciting too for me. So that's fire.
No, that's a very good point about SAC. I mean, one of the things that I've been wondering, and like I'd love to hear some insight on this, is like, yeah, there are a lot of creatives out here, but I do feel like there's times where there's missed opportunities to collaborate. Like, I don't know if you've seen any of that, being inside of the industry. Like, how do you feel it is in terms of collaboration right now?
I feel like with anything, you got to put yourself out there. I remember there was a time in my life where, and this was right before I met Tony and Robbie, where I didn't even go out in Sacramento. I was like, I'll stay at home, and not really do that. But, it was until I started being out and, meeting all these people that it was like, okay, there's so much to do. There's so much to learn. So it's like you got to really get out of your comfort zone and like put yourself out there, and be open to how other people think, how they work. You know what I mean? It's not always going to work out, to your benefit. You might find it creative and be like, I want to collab, and you guys have a conversation. And it's like, okay, it doesn't work for me, but you still made that initiative. You know what I mean? And most people will respect that. You know what I mean? So it's like, just get out there and try to, make. And that's what I love about Tiger. Tiger is like an amazing place for people. Like, yeah, you go, you drink, you have fun, you dance, but it's like most of the time people are out on the patio talking, you know what I mean? And it's like, meeting each other, you know what I mean? Like, I got invited to the Grammys one night, and I'm like, I can't go to the Grammys. Like, I don't even do anything, and I don't know what I would wear, you know what I mean? But I'm like, you go out there and you talk to people and you just make those connections. So you just got to get out there, dude. You know what I mean?
Speaking of Tiger, because like you're 100% right. I mean, for me, shout out to my boy Jan, because he kind of like started this whole thing. He invited me out to Tiger, and like he's good friends with Robbie, and like I got there, and the first thing that happened, it was just networking. Like you wasn't even worried about the drinks or nothing, because you were just meeting all of these like cool people that was all the way around there. So I've seen like 50 pull up there. I don't know, Russ is there. Y'all always have some crazy people coming through.
Yeah, shout out to Jan. I love Jan. He's literally a sweetheart. But yeah, the amount of talent that we've had there is also very crazy. Unfortunately, I don't really spend a lot of time inside when that's happening, because I'm always out at the gates, making sure everything is copacetic out there. But just knowing that I'm sharing a space where things like that are happening and people are going crazy about it, and that's the biggest thing too. When we have talent, it's like the line is down the street and around the corner. And that's essentially my job, right? So it's like overwhelming, but it's like we literally are like somewhere where people want to be so bad. Yeah. And that's fire. You know what I mean? Like the same thing as a product, right? Like people want the product, people want to be in Tiger, they want to be experiencing that. And Tony and Robbie and the rest of like the Tiger crew really do an amazing job at providing this safe space that's like accessible.
I was going to ask you about that, because like a lot of people might not pick up on it, but your decisions really kind of curate how the vibe is going to be inside. How do you make those decisions? Like when people are in line, like what are some things that you look for people you're like, I can't really like rock with you type?
Yeah, my job is crazy hard, but like you said, it's more than what, it's never personal, right? So I've had conversations with people where it's like, you're not feeling me, and it's not even that. My job is to, one, make sure that the space is gonna give off an energy that people are gonna want to come back and feel. That's really big. My job is to communicate with the security and make sure everybody's safe. That's like the most important thing for me, you know what I mean, is to make sure that not only the staff but the guests are good, you know what I mean. My job, it's a lot of things, and I'm learning every day, and I've been doing this for like 3-4 years, so it's been a long time. Like, and Tony and Robbie, we're constantly sitting down, we're constantly having conversations, and they're constantly working with me, and like we're always talking about stuff, right? And it's like, you got to make, like, we have like a VIP system where you got to hit the Instagram, get on the VIP list. Our booths are constantly sold out. So my job is just my essential job is to make sure everybody gets in smoothly, right? And personally, I want everybody to come in and enjoy Tiger, because it's an amazing space to be in, right? but it's a lot of factors. You know what I mean? It's everybody wants to get in at one time, but that's not logical, right? Making sure that my staff isn't overwhelmed. You know what I mean? That so that they can do their best at their jobs. It's a lot, and the biggest thing I could just ask of everybody is to just be patient. You
100%.
know what I mean? With me, I'm dealing with over like 1,000 people a night. So my job is a lot of things, and I'm gonna start writing things down on a, you know what I mean, just to get like a layout of everything that goes into it. But it's a lot of stuff.
I was gonna ask you, so like for me, I always try to be cordial with people whenever I go somewhere, and I always understand there's always gonna be somebody bigger than you. So I never try to do the name dropping things. Like we were kind of talking about that off camera. I never try to do the I know so and so or I'm so and so. What are some do's and don'ts for going to the club and like actually getting in? Or
I'll start with the don'ts. The don'ts. Please do not try to bribe to get inside. That is not, it's not always the greatest thing. Name dropping is like this touchy subject where it's like, you want to do it and nobody's going to know, but just it's off-putting too, right? You don't like go to somebody's grandma's house and be like, well, I know your granddaughter, so can I come in and get a sandwich? You know what I mean? Like you don't do things like that. It's just not. So name dropping is always a funny little thing. I've had somebody name drop my name to my face, and that was crazy hilarious. But in the moment, I was so confused. Like they were like, I know Vonna, and I'm like, word. They're like, yeah, she told me to come. I'm like, no, I'm Vonna, baby. I don't know you, but dudes, be patient, like you said. Be patient. Just be all around. Just try to have good character. You know what I mean? A lot of people are anxious to get in. They're drinking, so not always in the right headspace. But just respect the space, and our job is to just get you in. We want to get you in. We want you to come in. You know what I mean? It's not that we don't want people to come. But just being patient. It's always a do be patient, and trying to get everybody in.
I think that's a game. Like that's a game, because I feel like a lot of people don't get to hear that. Like you usually just see people either getting in or getting kicked out. You never get the behind the scenes of it. Something that I was personally curious about was like, I love being a night out and I like being up hella late, but it ruins my schedule. How do you balance that? Like,
nowadays, I don't know. It's really about like listening to your body for me. It's like I'm working crazy, right? Like right now I'm like doing 2 things at Tiger, launching my brand, and there's times where I'm like sitting there and I'm like, bro, I'm about to pass out or like call it quits, or call out. But it's like if you have a goal, or like a finish line essentially that you want to get to, then it's like you got to put that in, especially now while we're young. You know what I mean? Like just go for it, you know what I mean? But right now I'm vacationing a lot lately, which is fire.
Where you been at?
I just got back from New York.
Okay.
I love New York. I'm going to Hawaii next month. Been all over California. That's another thing. Like people are always like, I want to go to an island somewhere, and it's like, bro, you ever got in your car and just drove 5 hours down the coast?
Oh shit.
California's fire. Yeah. So just treating myself a little bit, but also I'm like a workaholic right now. So I'm just trying to work.
Yeah, and try to build something like that lasts. Yeah, I look at it like, it might be hard right now, but I'm so excited to be like 60 and just like, I'm hands off at this point. Like I'm good. I like what you said though. I moved to Cali from Queens. I moved from Jersey, just in case anybody from New York see this. Like, okay. I gotta mention that it was Jersey. I can't really claim New York like that the time, but like when I came out here, like I never traveled. Like I was always just like jumping, always in school or work or something like that. And a friend of mine actually told me that, like, you ever been to Monterey? Like you ever just go down the coast and just go check it out? So I think that is going to be one of the next steps. You maybe take the podcast on the road to go visit some places. For real.
Monterey is fire. Pismo. There's a lot of places you can go to. But I didn't know you were from the East Coast, so that's fire. Yeah. East Coast is fire. That was my first time ever going like that side in New York, and I was just like, should we reschedule our flight back? But I was like, no, I got to get back to SAC and work and get this brand going. But I was like, man, the amount of love that I received in New York. And it was funny because they were like, be careful. They're like rude out there. It's so fast. But I didn't get any of that.
No, it's because you're real. Like, a lot of the people that say that New York is rude is because you finally got people telling you they don't like you to your face. Like, right, that's just what it is.
But it was crazy love out there. I was like, man, I got to go back. Not right now because all the fires and stuff.
Yeah, but, true.
Oh my God, I love New York.
Nah, yeah. Like, where did you end up in New York?
We stayed in Manhattan. And we were only there for 3 days. So I'm like, even me being there for 3 days was a joke. It was not even enough time. But Times Square, we hit up Times Square a lot. Went to Brooklyn. I loved Brooklyn. I was like, man, if I was from New York, I feel like I'd be a Brooklyn kid. But yeah, we were supposed to go see the Statue of Liberty, but we went to a club, which was different because they didn't stop till like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So we were out till like 4 a.m. And then by the time we got back, it was like 8 a.m. And our reservation was like 10 a.m. So we overslept and missed it. So I was sad about that. But yeah, and we went to like Queens. That was fire. Had some pizza there, and New York was amazing.
Next time you go out there, you gotta hit Jamaica Queens. Like, Jamaica Queens, that's where I was on. Like Oxtail, Curry Goat, like they have it right on the strip for real.
Yeah, no, I need to go back and do like a couple weeks.
Yeah,
like
100%.
It was fire. Like we went to Chinatown and Little Italy and stuff like that. We went on the subway. It was fire.
You had New York style pizza.
Oh yeah. I don't remember where from because we were so lit. But it was the best pizza I ever had in my life. And I was like, bro, I don't even remember where it was from. I'm like looking at my bank statements like, hey, is it on there? But I'm like, I don't even remember where I got it from.
Nah, New York style pizza is crazy, and it look like you could just fold that.
The bodegas.
Yeah.
But we went to go get like some drinks for the house, and I was like, oh, they got Indian food in the back. I said, bro, let me get some chicken tikka masala to go. And I was smacking that. I'm like, just leave me here. Leave me here in New York.
Honestly, the vibes in New York is nice. And I was telling, I don't remember who I was talking to, but I get a little bit of like Harlem vibes from SAC in terms of like really back in the day, and not back in the day for me because I'm still relatively young, but from what I know is like in the like 90s, early 90s, like when New York really started to crack off, it started off in like Harlem, and it started off in like Brooklyn and like these really small communities or like the small city towns, right? Kind of the same vibe SAC gives off. And what happened was it was just a bunch of entrepreneurs and a bunch of creatives. They just started pushing the city, and then it's like the city's supporting itself, it's bringing in new money, and then the money is actually staying. And then I came here and I'm like, bro, everybody supports Lighting the Beam. Everybody supports each other's brand. Everybody's going local and whatever. And I'm getting that same vibe starting to build out here too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, SAC is definitely underrated.
Yeah.
It's underrated, especially for being the capital of California, but it's definitely on its way. On its way to doing crazy, crazy things. And I'm just hoping that everybody is ready for the ride, dude. You know what I mean? Because it's like once that little push of like fame or like success comes, people get comfortable. And you can't even do that, bro. Sacramento has to just keep going.
100%. And I feel like now with all of these like kind of newer people are coming into Sacramento all the time. I feel like it's kind of on people's radar right now, and people looking for a place where it's kind of that mid zone where you can relatively blow up and get some success here and like not have to compete with billionaires and stuff like that right away. I feel like they're coming into SAC. Like, how do you kind of want to see like the community evolve or even stay the same?
I want the community to stay the same. SAC's community is very authentic, very raw, very like sophisticated, rugged. It's a lot of different things. We're super diverse out here. So it's like I never want to see stuff like that change. You know what I mean? Elevate, yes. Change, nah. But I want it to stay like this. Like it's about growth. You know what I mean? So it's like do one thing, take that one thing, and build it into something else. So I'm like, I just wanted to like keep going. You know what I mean? The momentum. I need the momentum to keep going. Even for me. Because I'm inspired by the things and the people around me. You know what I mean? So it's like everything goes back into the same place. Networking, being a family, essentially, supporting each other. You know what I mean? Especially as like young black people, like, bro, we really have to like stick together. It's not about competing. You know what I mean? It's real. About like helping each other. You know what I mean? How do I help you? How do I meet you at Tiger? Create a brand, and you have your own business, and we're sitting down in the same room now.
Facts,
you know what I mean? That's really like the most fire thing to me, being like a black woman. It's like, man, I have these amazing men around me that are like, the sky's the limit. And not even that. There's stuff beyond that. You know what 100%. I mean? So that's really what it is about the community. Like, we just got to hold each other up and keep rocking.
I think you touched on a great point too. Is like, you know, I really try not to be transactional, because I feel like that's a bad way to go about it. Usually, if you just like are cool and like you just treat people with respect, it always comes back around, and it comes back around in ways that you just never expect. Because you know, like right now we've been like transitioning a lot of the podcasts into like having what's it called, like guest hosts and stuff on, right? Because a lot of our time has been like taken up by other things. So like Robert is launching Status in LA. Like I've been building out apps and doing all of this stuff. So I've been really trying to be selective with like the people that I bring on the pod. And like we're having like a lot of people asking to come on now. But when I saw you launch Industry Rebel, I'm like, yeah, you know, we gotta have you through, because you've shown nothing but love. Like every time I step through to Tiger, and like you've always been one of those people where I'm just like, whatever she does in the future, I can like pay that forward. Like I love the support for real.
Man, and I appreciate that so much, dude, because it's organic. It's things that you don't have to think about. You know what I mean? I never sat back and thought, if I created a brand and started like, you know, create a product, how is it going to treat me, or who am I going to like be able to do a podcast with, or who am I going to be able to do a photo shoot with? It's like, you got to organically just let it be what it's going to be. And like you said, like if you're pure and, you know, like, you know, you're open, things have no other, that's literally how energy works.
Yeah.
It just flows into the next, you know what I mean? And it's about communicating too. Like, if we would have never spoke, you could have seen me at Tiger walk right past me. You know what I mean? But it's like, just open up. You know what I mean? 100%. Let go a little bit and just, you know, try things. You know what I mean?
And it'd be simple too. It's like literally, I think like for the first 4 weeks, it was just like your fit. Oh, I like your fit too.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
you just keep it cordial.
No,
like,
facts. And that's always like a thing that stands out, is like, you know, the visual of it, right? Because you can't look at somebody like, oh, they're a good person. You know what I mean? Like you would hope for it, but it's like, you know, it's just organically just paying it forward. You know what I mean? Compliment people. You don't know what nobody's going through. You know what I'm saying? So just a simple hello, like your fit, beautiful smile. You know what I mean? Like it all comes back into, you know what I mean? Just, I had the same conversation with somebody at Tiger. I like your fit. Oh, well, actually, you know, work with Missy Elliott. Come to the Grammys with me. I'm like, my name is Vonna. First of all, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it to the Grammys, but thank you. That's so crazy. But you know, it's just try to be pure, man. Just try to be a good person. My mom always told me, you know, like just be what you can be, and like don't have no heaven or hell for nobody. Just be you. Worry about yourself. Stay in your lane, and just you never know. So just try.
Do you think people like get that from you most of the time? Like, do they assume that because like you have to turn certain people away or whatever, you might be a little bit meaner?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm just doing a job. You know what I mean? And it's not just even a job. It's like, you know, decisions are always made by you, right? So there's always like hierarchies and like things that like just happen because that's how things work. You know what I'm saying? But absolutely, people are always like, oh, you're like mean, or you know, you're hating, or you don't want me to be there. And I'm like, baby, I really, it's not even that deep. You know what I mean? And I'm such like a lover, you know, like I love to love on people. I love to share things with people, because it's like that's how you like live fulfilled life. You know what I mean? Like you just try to be a good person as much as you can, and people definitely take first impressions how they do. So you know, even me at Tiger, it's like I've had to step back and be like, okay, let me be less welcome to Tiger and more welcome to Tiger. I like your outfit. You know what I mean? Come in, have a good time. You know what I mean? Because it's like people do take those first impressions, and they take them however they take them, and sometimes you don't even have control over that.
100%.
You know what I mean? But it's like you still got to put that little extra energy into it. You know what I mean?
I like what you said though, because it's like it is a hierarchy of things that you can't control, and like you have priorities. Like you're not gonna sacrifice that. And I think there's also a deeper layer to it as well, where it's like regardless of what you do, people are always gonna be like, okay, black woman, dreads, like yeah, she's coming off aggressive.
Oh yeah.
You could be the nicest person in the world, they gonna just look at you and start like assuming things. So I mean, that's a whole other side of the discussion as well. But I think the way that you go about it is the right way to do it. Is just, you know, I know what I need to do, and I'm not moving with ill intention. So if you need a clarifying question, like come ask me about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you sometimes I gotta clarify it a lot, you know. And it's like, baby, you know what I mean? Like you trying to get in, I'm trying to go home. I want you to get in. You don't want to listen. Like it's a lot of things, but you know what I mean? I just try to like brush it off. And if you take it personal, then you got a deeper battle going on, and that's beyond me. You know what I mean? So I
100%.
just gotta like let it be what it is, and try not to let those people pull me out of my element. That's a big thing for me too. Is like, you know, people are just gonna be how they are, and like, you know, it doesn't help that they're like drinking and like, you know, consuming things that make them alternatively like be different.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just like, okay, now I'm not gonna even let that, you know, make me into something else.
Right,
you know what I mean?
like
So I just be
corrupt your
having to
energies.
brush stuff off and see it for what it is, and have a blessed night.
100%. Well, turning it back to a more positive note and on something that I'm curious about, do you have samples inside of those boxes?
I do.
Okay,
I do
need
have
you
samples.
to show it off the camera. See how
I
they look.
actually have a few pairs. I have up to 10 pairs in this collection.
Mm-hmm.
I only have a couple out. So it's the boxing, comes with a little microfiber towelette. So in these ones, I have the Azul.
I don't even
the
know.
blue pair.
That one.
The Industry Rebel on there.
Wow.
Go ahead and rock those. And then in these, I have
Oh yeah,
same thing with the white boxing.
you know what I mean? Gotta lay back.
Crazy. These are actually one of my favorite pairs right here. This is the Dove.
Oh,
So
that's
it's more of like a
crazy.
clear lens, yeah, with the silver label on
Nah,
the side.
I know that might
Yeah,
be
these
somebody
look
order, but I'm gonna have to.
Oh yeah, these actually sold out first.
Yeah.
So it was these, the quartz had sold out. The Noches had sold out, which is more like a black pair. Actually, I have two black pairs. So I have the Noches, which is same leg style as this. And then I have the Smoke Show, which is more like a cholos laid back.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are all sold out now. I actually just recently put in another order because there was a lot of people asking me for more. So I was like, okay, I'll do like a few more pairs, and then we're gonna move on to the next collection, because the next collection is gonna be insane.
Nah, that's what's up. You
It's
have
gonna
a
be
good
insane.
eye for sure. Like, these are nice too.
Yeah.
The quality on them is nice.
Yeah.
Like, I love like you got on top of the styling as well, because I just got hip to how like this, you know, the tapering of the sides.
Yeah.
Like, that's dope as hell for real.
Yeah, it definitely reminded me more of like the Prada shape,
Yeah.
legs on them.
But it has enough differences where you can tell this is
Yeah.
like its own thing for
Right,
real.
right, right. Yeah, yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to tell somebody they got lost in shipping. So
Oh. No, yeah, and I got a couple pairs for you too, for
Oh,
sure,
well,
just
okay,
for the
let me
love, you know
see
what I
it.
mean? But yeah, so this Sunday, I'm actually doing a pop-up at Tiger's Industry Rebel Night for everybody that purchased a pair. I'm going to have a few pairs of selected styles for people to come snatch while they're available. And then I have a couple like, you know, clothing. I have some crop tops for the ladies. It's gonna be a little hot out there. And then a couple of shirts for the men, and then some shorts and some nice little booty shorts for the ladies
to,
also.
just show a little
It
bit.
gets hot in Sacramento.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be the one to say it, but it gets like 110 out here. So
Nice.
you know, the less clothing, you know, the more comfortable
Hey, I'm
you are.
supporting all of that. Like, I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm real excited though, and I really think you on top of something right here. Like, even just like, if I was gonna put a brand on my body and like somebody asked me what it is, I think names are really important.
Yeah.
And if I'm like, yo, yeah, I got on Industry Rebel,
Fire.
I'll say that. I'll say
Man,
that every time.
right off the tongue, Industry Rebel.
Yeah.
Industry Rebel.
Nah, that's what's up. So,
Yeah.
I mean, to kind of wrap it off, like, you got any closing thoughts, any things you're thinking about, excited for your future?
Man, I'm just excited for this Industry Rebel Night at Tiger. I'm excited to see everybody, and I'm talking about like over 200 pairs have sold.
Yo.
So I'm excited to see all of Sacramento on these, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the next collection is coming out beginning of July, so that's exciting for me. This next collection, it's crazy because like this is turning into something better. So each drop I want to essentially, you know, elevate. So the next
100%.
collection is going to be insane. So if you missed this collection, if you can't make it on Sunday to pick up a couple of pairs that I have left, definitely follow me on Instagram on Industry Rebel, and you know, put in that pre-order for the next collection because it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, nah, y'all heard it here. Like, and one of the things that we've been looking at doing too is like, we're definitely following up. Like, you know, 3-4 months down the line, seeing where everything's at, seeing the progression of it, I think it's gonna be really dope. But I appreciate you coming through today. It was one of those talks that I've been meaning to have with you for a while.
I
Glad I
appreciate
could
it.
kind of get to know you outside of like, you know, the one-offs for real, and like everything that you're doing right now, fully support, fully back in any way that we can help out. Like, we with you for real.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, fellas. I really appreciate this.
It's no problem. No problem.
Absolutely.
All right.